All right, welcome back to LearnWire. I have some exciting news for you, and the rumors were true. Neuronwriter is back on Appsumo, so I'm glad that I held off on doing this particular comparison video because my suspicions were correct. Neuronwriter did come back to the platform, which is super cool. We're going to be looking at all three of these tools right now. There's been a lot of optimizers. There's only one that I would kind of be leaving out right here that I would probably include, but I didn't pick up the deal and I haven't really used the tool a whole lot, and it really doesn't have as much buzz as Contentpace, and that was Robinize. So I'm going to go with Contentpace as my third comparison because I think, first of all, I picked up the tool, I think tier 2 or tier 3, and second of all, I use this and I have writers actually using this to create content briefs and so forth, so I can speak to it a lot more than Robinize. But yes, I'm just trying to say that Robinize is also good, but I'm not comparing that one in here as well. But we've got Dokey, we've got Neuronwriter, and we've got Contentpace. All three of these softwares are content optimization SEO software that helps make your content even better and increase its chances of ranking on the Google, top 10, if you will. Dokey is the newest kid on the block, so it's only been out for a few weeks on Appsumo. I recently did a review on Dokey, so you can go check that one out as well. I will try to remember to put a link to that in the description. If not, just go type in Dokey or search for my last couple of videos and you will find it. Neuronwriter, I have a ton of videos on. Just type Neuronwriter in the search bar under LearnWire and you'll see a lot of case studies of ranking content using Neuronwriter. I'm very experienced using Neuronwriter, and this has definitely been an amazing tool right there. And then Contentpace, like I said, I did pick this one up and I actually have writers creating content with that one. So we're going to jump in. It's going to be a little bit more of a try to be as much organized as I can in this video. So I'm going to go into the next slide right here. You're going to see we have the features of each software. This is not all inclusive. There are probably some features that I'm leaving out, but just wanted to put some of the ones that come to mind right here. As you can see on the screen, Dokey, we've got the Google Search Console integration. They all have Google Search Console integration right here. And then one particular thing you can do that I don't think you can do with Neuron and Contentpace is you can white label this. So if you're running your own agency and you want to white label reports or anything like that, or basically just kind of, I believe like you're running it's like your own software, you can white label with Dokey. I don't have any particular experience using that feature, so I can't speak too much about that. But keyword research, this one has keyword research. This Neuronwriter, you could kind of say has keyword research, but it definitely does give you an SEO score of your keyword, but it doesn't, you don't really go in like a search engine and then it pumps out a bunch of different keywords for you and then you can pick from them. But I will say the caveat to that is that the keyword research function in Dokey I was not impressed with at all. I would never use it for my keyword research. It just seemed to be all over the place. You could use it for keyword suggestions, don't get me wrong, but if you're really actually trying to analyze what the competition is, difficulty levels and so forth, I found that it was very inaccurate. So just wanted to point that out. You've got relevant questions, content calendar, word theme grouping. That was kind of a different feature, and I wasn't quite sure what to do with it, but they do have, that seemed to be something that they had that the other tools don't have. Real-time SEO score, they pretty much all have that. I would say Neuronwriter and Dokey with real-time SEO scores are going to be the best. While you're updating the content, you're going to get a score right away. Contentpace is a little strange with the content optimization. Maybe I'll have time to kind of go over that, but if not, just trust me, Dokey and Neuronwriter are better with, as you type in the, in the optimizer canvas, the score will change, quickly in real time versus Contentpace is a little weird. Almost seemed like there was it's kind of buggy, but we can talk about that later. Let's see right over here. we have the team management over here. We have team management on Neuronwriter, and we have team management. So obviously that's important to all of the tools. We can kind of go and look at the different features and see which ones would work better for you, depending on if you're going to create the outlines and then share them to your team, or if you're going to have them, use the tool from start to finish and so forth, right? Or if you're going to build the briefs and so forth. We will look at which ones are easier to use. We have outline builders. They all have outline builders. I don't think I put outline builder up there as well. So change log. So Dokey has a change log, but no roadmap, right? So a public roadmap is interactive. Customers can make suggestions on what they want for the tool in the future and so forth. It's a lot more interactive, and it's a lot more kind of transparent of what's going on, what's down the pipeline, what's already been done, what's in the works, and what they are planning in the future. Neuronwriter does have a public roadmap, and Contentpace does not have a public roadmap, and Dokey has kind of like a half of a roadmap, if you will. So Neuronwriter definitely wins that battle right there. So we have a bunch of different things to talk about. Well, we're going to go ahead and go out of the presentation right here. And we're going to go, and I just wanted to go and look at the timing, right? So Dokey doesn't have a time limit right now. Neuronwriter just came back. I don't know how long this is going to be. Generally, it's going to be between 2 and 4 weeks if I had to make a guess. And if you look at the pricing on Neuronwriter's site, you're definitely going to not want to miss this deal. This is one of the best softwares I've ever purchased on Appsumo. And so you're going to want to go and pick this one up. It's just crazy good. And if you don't get the LTD, then I'm an affiliate of Neuronwriter, and I make sales, on a monthly basis for people signing up for their, everyday pricing, where you have to pay monthly for. So this is, a real software that I think Neuronwriter really is going to is kind of that next, phrase and surfer type of optimization tool. And so it's worth picking up this software. All the links to all three of these softwares will be the first 3 links in the description. If you purchase through those, it is an affiliate link, but it does help support LearnWire, and it helps support all the time and research that I put into creating this content for you. Okay, we'll keep going. Contentpace right over here. Now I did see this. They have an offer is ending in 8 days. Now we don't know. They may renew this, or they may step away for a few months and come back. But you never like to see this, because now you have to decide if this is a deal for you, and you've got to pick it up before it leaves, right? So there's always that kind of scarcity type thing going on. We all know that in marketing, and you never know if they're going to come back or not. Now, we will be going over some different features, but also trying to keep this video as short as possible. So let's go and jump in real quick to Dokey. And we went over the features, so let's go over the article outline and brief section. Okay, so I'm going to go over and grab a keyword. We're going to go with spring camping tips. That is definitely relevant right now. We are almost going into April of 2023, and we will, my family will be doing some late spring camping in May. But it's always nice to kind of look at this kind of stuff. And I know you guys like going over different topics and stuff, and not just the make money online niche and stuff like that. So we'll go back over here. Spring camping tips right here. It says it's a great keyword over here in Insta Keywords. We're going to go back over to Dokey, and we are going to create a new project. And we're going to kind of just simultaneously do this. So the main query is this, the content title. Let's go over here, and I already wrote this in Copy AI because we may use this later. I wanted to have the content prepared ahead of time, and we're going to go back over, and we're going to put the title in, publishing to website. So you can hook your website to this, and you can also publish it from here as well. So those are really cool features that I really, really like to look for, that I think Dokey has. I believe the other tools, I believe Neuronwriter has that feature I've never used before. And then I don't know if Contentpace has that or not. Now I'm definitely over here, important, select, and you can put your, put tags right there, and you can put it what zone it's going to be, planning when you are going to. So let me just say that Dokey is very focused on using the software and what state the article is in. I'm just going to keep it as planning, and I'm going to just push the analyze button. So now it's going to go to work and start analyzing. Your search query is being analyzed. Our algorithm is analyzing all your competitors. It may take a few minutes, and here we go. So we'll come back to that. I'll just click on the home page and it is analyzing that. And you can see in real time, it's literally going to update while we're talking. So you don't have to push refresh or anything. So I really like that. I like the graphics and the UI with Dokey. I like the green score right here. It's pretty cool. Let's go over and start in Neuronwriter. So I'm going to go ahead and just log in. And I'm going to keep everything in this review just specifically talking about the LTD on Appsumo. And that's what's really cool is at the current time of making this, all three are available on Appsumo, and that's what I'm going to stick with. We're not going to go over everyday pricing or their website or anything like that. It's just going to be a completely 100% a comparison, unbiased comparison as far as the LTD on Appsumo is concerned. So we're going to go over here. I'm going to create a new product. I'm actually going to go over here just to testing. So you select, and then I go to new query, and I like how it already says United States right here, English. So that's one thing that, for saving time purposes, I really like that. So we're going to go ahead and push start, and it's going to go and do the exact same thing over here. While I'm talking, it's going to analyze and update in real time. So you don't have to push refresh or anything like that, which is cool. Let's go over to Contentpace as well, and we are going to create a report. So I'm going to go and just throw in the keyword. Actually, I should have put in just spring camping tips on that other one. That was kind of I'm going to say top 10. No, we're going to go spring camping tips right here and create report. And it's going to go and start creating that report for us as well. And I'm going to run a different one. I'm going to say that this should have been also just spring camping tips, because that's the keyword we're going for. So I'm going to push start and see if the competition score changes or anything like that, right? And we'll go back to Dokey and top 10 spring camping tips. And then we put this main query in. So that's cool about Dokey is that you can put the main one right there. So it knows to go, that's the main keyword we're going for, but then it also has a title for relevancy as well. So it's saying that the score of our content right now is 0 because we have no content, right? So you can add a publication URL if you already have it, or we can just go ahead and click in here. And then that's going to move us to kind of the outline builder, right? So doing all that, now we're into the outline builder, and you're going to be able to see, so we have our meta title up here, our meta description right over here. I'm going to go and just grab and throw that in right there. We're actually going to go in here as well. So this time I'm going to kind of be jumping back and forth between the tools. I hope that's okay, guys. But I think it's the only way that I'm going to be able to get through the video at a decent pace. So now we're going to go over here and see the content competition is now 30. So that does make sense that this is going to be a little bit more of a competitive keyword. And that's what I like about Neuronwriter. I think that it does a pretty good job with the keyword analysis, and there's a little bit more SEO features. I didn't really put that in the feature, but I think Neuronwriter does a little bit better job than the other tools, actually a lot better job with the SEO side of things. It really gives you a lot of information. We can select over here if we want to take some off right here. That's pretty cool. I believe you can do that with the other ones as well. But once you come in here, you're really able to dive into the analysis of all the top sites. And you're able to see all their different DAs, how much backlinks they have, what the content score is. So it really gives you a lot of information on if this is going to be a keyword for you to go after anyways. So pretty cool stuff. All right. So we have that. And then I want to go in here to the meta and just throw in the meta description there. And now this is one of those things where it's just, I guess it is a separator. You do have to push, I believe, the refresh button. See how this says preparing right here? If I push the refresh button, it should be done. It's still preparing right now. So we'll come back and we'll test this in a minute and see if this is actually, if it changes on its own or not. I don't remember if it does. I don't think it does. So we'll come back over here. We've got our title. And this is where you load your title. So a little bit difference between the UI. You do all the meta over here in a tab, and then you just move right over, boom, to the canvas over here. And then in Dokey, you do it all on one page. Kind of cool as well. It's going to tell us that we need 1,700 words. And then we're going to go back over here into Neuronwriter, and you're going to see the words are right here. It's a pretty tiny right here. If I was going to, I'm just very used to using Neuronwriter, and once you get used to it, then you'll know where everything's at and you'll just feel comfortable with it. But I will say just that trying to be as unbiased as I can. I think Dokey Win just gains a small edge on the UI as far as just everything right here on one page. We don't have to go anywhere else. We're already on one page right here, and we can see everything. So kind of cool. But at the same time, there's something a little different over here, where if you're looking at all the results over here on Dokey, and you want to go and you want to start looking at like these ones right here. If you click over here, it's just going to open up the page. So what you have to do is find which one up here that you want to go and look at, right? Spring camping, packing checklist, camping in the spring, top 20, 9 spring camping tips right here. So let's just go like we're going to go with this one. So it's the man, something like that. So you have to come back over here, and this is where you click the headers right here. And this is where you're going to go and start building your outline, right? So and that one's kind of pulling in camping in the spring right here. Okay, so I'm just going to grab these. And I'm just clicking on these and they immediately go over. So I think it's really easy to build your outline, and you can go into any of these sites as you want, right? And we have our outline over here. Then you can add a header right here and just say conclusion, enter, and then we've got an outline right here. So one important thing to know is that I haven't found an easy way to copy the outline from Dokey after we move over to the writing section. So you do have these 4 main tabs right here. So once you build the outline, right, you have all this other stuff. You have the relevant questions we can ask over here. Let's just add a couple of those. People also ask. Themes covered. So this is that unique part right here where there's kind of like this keyword grouping or clustering, if you will, based on the theme of these. So this is something that different than the other tools are doing, where it's kind of like keyword clustering inside of the relevant keywords that you already would be putting in there. So I think it gets really in depth right here. I can't speak too much more about the SEO aspect of this, but it's not really keyword clustering in a sense that, you have one main topic and then all the keywords that fall under that topic should be in the same article. But this is keyword grouping inside of each article, right? So kind of interesting, but pretty cool and unique as well. But that is the main page right here. And then you just move to the next section, which is writing. So this is your opportunity to grab this whole article right here, or this outline, copy it, and then go and hand it off to someone. So I'm going to go and open up a notepad, and this is what you would want to do. And this is the difference between the other tools, is that this one I think is probably lacks the ability later on to just copy just the article outline. But again, this is where you would grab this and you can go and tell your writer to write about this or anything like that. We'll go over the team writing and so forth as well, or team management as well. But I want to get through the outline real quick. So we just built an outline there. I think it's really straightforward, works really, really well. We've got Neuronwriter, and this is where when you look at this and you're brand new to the software without watching any tutorials, you would be lost. And so that's where the UI and just the ease of use is probably going to be marked down a little bit with Neuronwriter, because right now, like right here, I wouldn't know what to do. I have to go and start clicking. I would have to go and watch a video on how to do this. They do have a good how-to video right there, which is great, but still right here, it should be even more self-explanatory. And so right over here, you're going to come up here to this button up here, create article draft. And that's where you're going to open up a whole new page. And this is where we're going to start outlining our article, right? So we're going to go and look, and they just have headers that have come in right here. And this is really what you're going to be searching for. We've got all of our H2s over here, and then we have our questions right here. So just going through this, to be completely honest, I think that Dokey and Contentpace are going to take the cake with article brief work as well, like creating the article brief. But this is how we would do it. Just for sample purposes, we would just grab and just go sort through all these, right? We're going to add our outline right here. And we've got our outline. Let's say we want to add some questions. Boom, boom, boom. And we have an outline. So then now you're going to copy this to the editor. You can save this or whatever you want to do. We're going to say copy to editor. And this is where you have your outline right over here. And then what you can do over here, what I really, really like, is you can go and you can make your save changes. And then we can click on the export button. And this is where you can go and, select however you want to export this. And it's going to export it for you. So pretty cool stuff right there. I'm trying to look if there is a way to just get the, there really isn't, I'm not seeing, okay, yeah, up here under share, you would edit and save, and then you would share the access by a link or by an email. You can add your user to team right there. And I've done all this, works really, really well. So Neuronwriter works well if you're just giving full access to your VA or a writer. And I think that that's where it shines. So you would have this, and we'll go open up a incognito window, and this is how this would look over here. And you just push enter, and then they would have access to the outline and so forth, right? They would have to sign up even for a free account, and they would be able to look at it and so forth. All right, so we'll keep moving on. That's how you would share the link, or you would just, like I said, you can just export it in any format you want, and then go and upload it or share it that way. All right, so Contentpace, we're back. Okay, so it did change to ready automatically. I was wrong on that one. You don't have to push refresh. It did change right there, so that's good. So we're going to go and review the report. And this one is where, when looking at it, I think Contentpace is really cool, is you're able to get a lot of data about what's going on with that keyword, and you're able to shift between readability, keyword frequency, paragraphs, title length, all kinds of good stuff. You get to look at the analytics, and then you get to switch on and switch off right here as well. So I really like the way that you can kind of go and look at all the different things going on with the article and the information. But then now what we want to do is let's go create our content brief right here. So you're going to create your content brief, and then you're just going to go in and you're going to just left click. And just for the sake of building this, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of grab all these on the first one. But you would sort through, and you would go and grab different ones from all kinds of, just like that. And we have our content brief over here, right? So just like that, in just a couple seconds, you're going to have all of the H2s right here. You can move these right here. You can move it and make it an H3 if you want, fully customizable. And then you can come down here, and I love how this automatically puts the phrases right here and the words. And then when you're going to come up here, you're just going to go and copy this to the clipboard or share with a URL. And this is how it's so cool. You can just copy this and go into incognito window, and you're going to just open up that URL, and it's going to have that. So you don't even have to have someone with an account, and they're going to be able to view this, which is super cool. They're going to know exactly what your article outline is, and then they're going to know exactly what phrases to include in their writing, and they're going to also have references to get them started. So this one, the article outline brief, I still think Contentpace wins. I think it's just an amazing tool. It's just super simple. It's all the things that you would really want for your writers, to not make it too complex, to where you can still create a pretty easy to follow SOP for your writers. And then they can click on the SEO suggestions, and it's going to have how many words they should write and stuff like that. Really cool stuff. So that's the article outline and brief section. Let's move on to the Onpage SEO score for each one. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go and grab the content from over here, and we're going to go back over, and I'm going to go ahead and just remove all this and then paste the content in here that I already wrote. So I knew I needed to write that. And then we're going to have a score. So this is straight from Copy AI. And I didn't use any of the outlines, right, that we created. That was just to show you a demo. I did not use any of the outlines or anything. I just used what Copy AI gave me. And we're getting an 88 right here. And this is where I'm a little concerned. And I went over this in my Dokey review, is that I think that score is just way too high right off the bat. There's no way that an AI article writer is that good right out of the gates, giving us an 88. This is basically telling us that it's ready to publish, that we don't really have a whole lot to do. I'm not going to go over too much of the on-page scores over here. You can switch between occurrence right over here, and so forth. I do like the way, if you can get used to the way that they do things in Dokey, I like the way that this is laid out. You always want to get your content in between the two dials right here, if you will. And so like, that's why we're a green right here, because we're an 8. But if we go up here on this one, bring, then if we use it more than 9 times, it's going to turn red. And if we use it less than 5 times, it's going to turn red as well, or it's going to turn black. Sorry. So I do like the layout of this, but I do think that the score right off the bat is just way too high. Okay. So you do have your outline right here. Again, there's no little copy button. I would like to see that. But that is how you would go in and you would just use these words over here based on relevance and so forth. So you would want to start off with relevance and start working these in right there. And then you would go move on to publication right here, and then you're going to have all the information you need to go and publish. You can add your site and publish directly to your site. You can get the raw text or the HTML text and so forth. And then you can do monitoring, which is cool. And I do, this is limited. I don't have the exact numbers of how many pages you'll be able to monitor, but of course there's going to be a limit. But you're able to add your publication URL, and then they'll go and do rank tracking for you. So that's really a cool feature that I don't think the other tools have. Okay, so let's move on to the article on Onpage SEO Score real quick for Neuronwriter. So I'm going to go and grab our content over here. I'm going to copy and come back over to Neuronwriter. And we're just going to paste that whole thing in. And we do have our meta right over here. And then come over to content right over here. And this is an H1. It is the exact same content. And you can see that we're only scoring a 43 right here. So that is a massive difference. And you can see even just the keywords right here. We have hardly any keywords that it's telling us to have in our content. And that's why we have such a low score. And remember when we went back to Dokey, we are scoring an 88 with this content. So that's a major discrepancy. I would probably, to be honest, trust Neuronwriters more. As you can see, there's a ton of keywords that we have not used in the article. And we only have a 43, and if we want to be the best in the top 10, we need a 73. And if we want to be competitive in the top 10, we need a 56. So it's telling us we have some work to do, right? And let's go into Contentpace now. So view content brief. We would optimize our content now. So I'm going to click on the content optimizer, and then I'm going to go and grab our content over here. I'm going to copy, and we're going to go back over here and paste that in right over here just to show you. And we have a content score of 53, and it's telling us to, that we need an 82 or higher. But there are some discrepancies when we come back and we back out of this, that this number changes and it gives us a different number when we're not inside of the optimization tool. I'm not going to go into that too much, but I feel like the optimization part of Contentpace is my least favorite feature, and so I only use it for content briefs. I don't use it for optimization because it's clunky, and I just don't really like the way that it works without going too much into it. It's just hard to use, and it's a lot more clunky. And so forth. It's just not as smooth as the other tools as far as writing inside the canvas and trying to get an updated score and so forth. So that's pretty much all I'm going to really say about that after using Contentpace in Neuronwriter a lot. Neuronwriter definitely would be the tool that I would recommend as far as just like optimizing your content and so forth. But content brief wise, Contentpace wins. So that is, we're going to kind of go in, and I'm going to go ahead and score these. I think that we've kind of, let's go over team sharing real quick. So I'm going to go back over here real fast. So if we wanted to create a team member, we would just come up here and we would go to team. And then this is where you would go and you would add a team member right here. Boom. So really easy to do that in Neuronwriter. Up here, you also would just go to team right over here, and then you will see that you would just go and add user, and you're going to go and add a user and share access right there. Boom. And then up here, Contentpace, I think wins with team management because you can go up. And it is a little trickier. So let's see if I go into workspace settings, and then invite team member. And you can see I have a team member right there, but it's really easy to add a team member there. But it takes like 2 extra clicks to get there. So it's a little bit confusing, but I'm not going to dock them on that. I do believe you get unlimited team members on Contentpace. They don't care how many, it's just based on how many documents you're going to use. So I like that. They don't limit it. I think that's a cool way to go. Who cares how many team members you add? It's really just based on how many documents you're creating, and that's the limitation. So, so that's why I think Contentpace wins as far as just team management, is that you're able to just give full access and to as many team members as you want. And just talking about the UI of all the tools, I do think that this is a nice, crisp, clean user interface with Dokey. Let me go back and I'm going to score these. I think that's going to be the best way to kind of end the presentation. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back to wrap this up. Can't imagine any shorter of a video when you're comparing 3 powerhouse softwares and actually kind of doing a small demo inside of there. The only way that I would have kept this at a 10-minute video is just jumping right into the slides. You guys can comment below next time I do a video like this if you just want me to, because I've already made content and done reviews. If you guys want to see actually how the software works, then you can go and watch those videos, right? So next time I do one of these, do you guys want me to just jump right into the slideshow and show you what I think are the best ones and not do any kind of demos of the software? Or do you like the continued style of this long form content where I show a little bit of the software each one, but then also I'm kind of giving you the scores? I usually don't take the time to do all this because this took probably another extra hour, believe it or not, to put all this together as far as showing the stars and the ratings and so forth. So feel free to leave comments. I do read all the comments. I may not be answering all the comments, but I do read them all. Okay, so for the article outline and brief, that was when we just started off and we wanted to create an article brief or outline, right, to give to our writers or to take it into another AI writer to write our content for us. I'm giving Contentpace the best score. I think that it does the best. It does what Dokey does, which is bring in a lot of the relevant topics and from all the top 10 rankings or all the top 20 or 30 rankings, and you're able to just easily click on stuff and build your article content outline. But I just think that Contentpace has the edge in this battle right here. I think Neuronwriter, this is one of its weakest things that it does, is create the article outlines for us. I don't think it's as in-depth as Dokey or Contentpace, and that's the reasoning behind the different scores. So we have a 5, a 4, and a 3 on this one. All right, so now we're going to go to the next one, which is the article Onpage SEO Optimization Score. Now, obviously, I'm marking down Dokey like a lot on this one. I'm not impressed at all. Once we write our content or paste our content into Dokey, it's telling us that we already have like almost a 90 score. And I took it straight from Copy AI, and I took the exact same article, and that's why I like this test that I did for you guys, is that I took the exact content I created for this video in Copy AI, didn't touch it, and I pasted it into all 3 softwares, and of course we got way different scores, but Dokey was far off, giving us a 90 score, telling us that we really don't need to do anything to the content. It's ready to publish. Boom, let's go publish it. And therefore, I don't think that that's right. I don't think it's true. There's no way that Copy AI content or other AI's content for that matter is that good. Even human written content probably wouldn't score an 88 right out of the gates without further optimization. So Dokey definitely gets a really bad score on this one, but Neuronwriter wins on this one. You guys, I alluded to Contentpace as well. I don't think that it does very well with the content optimization. I use it for content brief building, and it's my favorite for that, but it's definitely not my favorite for the optimization score. Neuronwriter, however, shines when it comes to optimizing your content, getting your score. It's really difficult to get your score really high in Neuronwriter, and then but the higher you get your score, I've tested this and I've done case studies, and your content will rank. So Neuronwriter definitely wins on this battle right here. Team sharing capability score. Let's see, we've got a 4 for Dokey. We've got a Neuronwriter, a 5, and Contentpace gets a 5 as well. Don't need to speak too much more about that, but those are just the scores that I give for that. The UI and the ease of use, right? So we're talking about just how easy is it to use the softwares and how I like the user interface of the softwares. Contentpace, I don't really like the UI, and it is kind of hard to figure out when you first start off. Jumping between the buttons and where do you audit your content, where do you find your new brief report, and so forth. I do think that Dokey wins on this one. Just super easy to log in, start your article brief, and then you just move between the different tabs real quickly. But almost everything you need is on the very first page, and I like that. Neuronwriter is pretty good. You do have to get used to it as well, but I do think that they have a pretty nice layout. They definitely are the most intricate tool out of all three and have the most features by far. Neuronwriter has the most features for sure. I didn't really put that. I mean, as far as just features of the tool, right, from an SEO standpoint, from a creating an article outline standpoint, to doing SEO and internal linking and doing all that, Neuronwriter definitely would win when it comes to that. But as far as just the UI and ease of use, Dokey wins on this one. Speed score, we've got a 5 for Dokey, a 5 for Neuronwriter, and a 4 for Contentpace. And really, it came down to where can I find some speed issues where when they're analyzing the content and trying to come up with your, the analyzation score, when you put in a keyword, Contentpace is the slowest of the three after testing. So that's why I gave it a 4, but nothing that you would not pick the software up for or anything like that. And so then the LTD price score, right? I said that we were only going to be talking about we were only going to be comparing LTD pricing and not the everyday pricing. So we have Dokey up here. I'm giving it a 4-star. Neuronwriter, I'm giving it a 4-star. And then Contentpace, I am giving it the 5 score because you do get basically more topics over here per month on the force stack, or I think this is the 3rd stack right over here. And then when you just look at it, I guess just comparing all the pricing. So I put these arrows right here because you can go and stack even more codes right here. But the most that you can get with Neuronwriter is 200 documents per month. And that goes out to I think $483. But for that same price, basically, I think it's like $513. You can create and optimize content for 1,000 documents per month. So if you're an agency or you really want to scale and everything, if that's the route and you need a tool, Contentpace would be your tool of choice, because you're going to be able to have as many team members as you want, and you're going to have 1,000 reports per month and 200 max for Neuronwriter. And right over here, Dokey, they only have 3 right here, license tier 300 per month. They don't go any up further than there. So I think that's kind of where I landed with that. Okay. But the overall score, when you slice and dice it all up, I tried to be as unbiased as I can. 4.3 for Neuronwriter, 4.2 for Contentpace, and Dokey comes in at a 4. This is where it landed. And, when you really look at it, if you want my personal opinion, right? So this is the unbiased score, to be completely honest. I mean, I even gave Neuronwriter a 3 on one of these right here. It's not good at article briefs, things like that. But at the end of the day, these two tools, Contentpace and Neuronwriter, I've used extensively. And if you just ask me, well, which one do I use and which one would I prefer out of all these? It's definitely Neuronwriter. That's why I'm so excited that Neuronwriter is back. You're going to want to go ahead and click the link below and go pick up your copy of Neuronwriter, because this one right here is going to be the closest as you're going to get to phrase or surfer SEO on the market right now. And the fact that you can get an LTD right now for the software it's insane. So you want to go and pick this one up. So my biased review, or my biased opinion, would be Neuronwriter all the way. Now that's the tool of choice for myself. I do use Contentpace, and I have writers creating for one website, they are creating our content briefs in Contentpace. So absolutely, you can't go wrong with Contentpace as well. But I recommend that only for content briefing. So you could actually stack these and use these two tools. You could use Contentpace to create your article briefs and then get your content created and all that. And then you could bring them back into Neuronwriter to do optimization if you wanted to. Or if you only wanted only one tool, then you can definitely do all that in Neuronwriter as well. Dokey, I think, is very promising. I really think it's slick. The UI and the speed is great. I do think it has some great features and so forth. I do think that the optimization score needs tweaked and looked at, but I definitely don't think you can go wrong with picking up Dokey as well. So I hope that that really helps, puts the whole thing into perspective for you. Definitely Neuronwriter. And I didn't score it at 4.7, 4.8, or 5. I still think that there's still definitely room for improvement, but Neuronwriter, I have ranked a lot of content using Neuronwriter. So I hope you guys found this video very valuable. This took a lot of time to put all this together. And, just if you want to go pick up any of these tools, appreciate it. If this video brought any value to you, if you'd pick up any of these tools with the link below, and I look forward to bringing more videos to you. See you next time.